I grip the armrests of the leather chair in Mr. Calloway's law office, my knuckles white against the deep burgundy. The mahogany conference table stretches between us like a moat. Across from me, Monica adjusts her pearl necklace, Dad's last birthday gift, to her while Grant leans forward, elbows on the table, a vulture ready to claim his prize. The air conditioning hums too loudly in the silence. Outside, April sunshine streams through floor-to-ceiling windows, mocking the chill that settled in my chest since Dad's funeral 3 days ago. Mr. Calloway clears his throat, shuffling papers with hands that suddenly seem uncertain. His eyes meet mine, then dart away. "Shall we begin?" he asks, not waiting for an answer. The last will and testament of Robert James Rhodes, dated the 15th of January of this year. 6 months ago. 6 months since I last saw the will that named me as successor to Rhodes Corp., the company Dad built from nothing into an empire. The company he promised would be my inheritance, since I was old enough to understand what legacy meant. I catch Mr. Calloway's slight grimace as he turns the page. Something's wrong. To my wife, Monica Rhodes, I leave all shares and controlling interest in Rhodes Corporation, including my position as Chief Executive Officer and Chairman of the Board. The words hit like physical blows. Monica's lips curve upward, that practiced smile that never reaches her eyes. My stomach twists. Additionally, to Monica, I leave our primary residence at 1842 Lakeside Drive, the vacation properties in Aspen and Maui, and all assets contained therein. Each word pulls the floor from beneath me. This isn't right. This isn't Dad. To my stepson, Grant Winters, I leave the following real estate holdings: the commercial properties at 5th and Main, the apartment complex on Westwood Boulevard, my collection of classic automobiles, and the sum of $5 million. Grant's fingers drum against the table, a rapid tattoo of triumph he can barely contain. His eyes glitter with unconcealed greed. Mr. Calloway pauses, taking a sip of water. I recognize the stalling tactic. How many depositions have I sat through as a corporate attorney? He's dreading what comes next. And to my daughter, Elizabeth Catherine Rhodes? The pause stretches, painful and deliberate. Monica's smile widens. I leave this key, held in trust by my attorney, along with this message. If something ever happens to me, hold on to this. You'll know what to do. Mr. Calloway slides a small envelope across the table. Inside rests a single keyhold, rusted at the edges, utterly unremarkable. That's it? The words escape before I can stop them. That's all? Mr. Calloway won't meet my eyes. That's all that was specified in the will, Miss Rhodes. My hands tremble as I pick up the key. It's cool against my palm, surprisingly heavy for something so small. So worthless. This is ridiculous, I say, memories flooding back. We had lunch at Bellini's 6 weeks before then. He told me he was updating his succession plan at Rhodes Corp to ensure a smooth transition when I took over. Monica's laugh flutters across the table. Oh, Eliza. Robert changed his mind. He finally recognized who truly supported him all these years. She reaches for Grant's hand. Who was truly loyal? 2 weeks after that lunch, Dad had called me, voice tight with worry. Lizzie, I need to show you something. Not over the phone. Some things need to be kept safe. We'd planned to meet that weekend. The accident happened on Thursday. Mr. Calloway, I say, struggling to keep my voice level. Did you witness my father signing this will? His hesitation tells me everything. I supervised the proper execution of the document, yes. Not a direct answer. Interesting. This doesn't make sense. I close my fingers around the key. Dad built Rhodes Corp over 40 years. He wouldn't just hand it over to family? Monica interrupts. You've been so busy with your own career, Eliza. When was the last time you even attended a company function? Meanwhile, Grant and I have been by Robert's side through everything. Grant snickers. The forgotten heir, clinging to scraps. How pathetic. I bite my tongue until I taste copper. The temperature in the room seems to drop further as Mr. Calloway gathers his papers, clearly eager to end this meeting. Unless there are questions about the technical aspects of the will, he begins. I have several, I say, but Monica stands, smoothing her black dress. We'll have our team review everything, James, she says to Mr. Calloway. Now, Grant and I need to meet with the board. So much restructuring to do. As they gather their things, Grant leans toward Monica, his voice a whisper he doesn't bother to conceal. That was easier than we expected. The receptionist's eyes follow me as I walk out alone, her expression a mixture of pity and curiosity. In the parking garage, I sit in my car, the engine off, staring at the key in my palm. Trust your instincts, Lizzie, Dad used to say. It was his mantra, repeated throughout my childhood, through college, through law school. I close my fingers around the key, feeling its teeth bite into my skin. Something is very wrong here. And whatever he opens, I intend to find out. The coffee at Mabel's diner has gone cold. I've been pushing the same scrambled eggs around my plate for 15 minutes while Sam Winters types on his laptop. His fingers move with practiced precision, much like they did when we were study partners at Yale. Back then, he was the tech genius who saved my term papers from digital oblivion. Now he's a cybersecurity engineer who might help me prove my father was murdered. You barely touched your breakfast, Sam says without looking up from his screen. The fluorescent lights cast shadows under his eyes, evidence of late nights spent digging through data. I'm not here for the food. I tap my father's key against the Formica tabletop. I know. Sam closes his laptop, finally meeting my gaze. You're here because I mentioned the financial irregularities at Rhodes Corp last week at the funeral reception, and you've been thinking about it ever since. My hand stills. What exactly did you see? Sam glances around the nearly empty diner, then leans forward. Large transfers initiated 2 days after your father's death. Old accounts closed. New accounts opened in offshore jurisdictions. His voice drops lower. Look, there's something else. Your father consulted me about secure storage options 3 months ago. He seemed worried. The key feels suddenly heavier in my palm. Did he say why? He said he needed a place where certain information would be safe if something happened to him. Sam's eyes flicked to the key. Specifically, he asked about old-fashioned security things that couldn't be hacked. 6 hours later, we're standing in front of a storage unit in an industrial park on the outskirts of town. The facility is the kind that time forgot concrete buildings with metal roll-up doors, no digital surveillance, just a bored attendant who barely looked up from his magazine when we signed in. Unit 378, I say, checking the faded numbers against the address in Sam's notes. The lock is ancient, rusted at the edges. My hand trembles as I slide the key in, hearing the tumblers click. The sound echoes in the silent corridor. Inside, dust motes dance in the beam of Sam's flashlight. The unit is mostly empty except for a few boxes labeled tax records and an antique wooden chest in the center. That looks promising, Sam whispers. The chest's brass lock gleams, incongruously new compared to its weathered wood. My key fits perfectly. Inside, beneath a stack of old photographs of my father and mother, sits a small black safe. Great, I mutter. Another lock without a key. Not a key, Sam says, pointing to a digital keypad. A code. I stare at the 6 empty spaces blinking expectantly on the display. 6 digits. A date? A phone number? Your father must have told you something, Sam says, his voice gentle. Something only you would understand. My mind races through birthdays, anniversaries, addresses nothing fits. Then I remember the last birthday gift my father gave my mother before her illness, pearl earrings to match a necklace. The gift card simply read, 111,378. The 13th of November, 1978, I whisper. The day Mom got a tiny E tattooed on her wrist. She kept it hidden from everyone except Dad and me. I punch in 111,378. The safe clicks open. Eliza, Sam breathes. Look, Inside lies a stack of documents. The top page reads, Last Will and Testament of Robert James Rhodes, dated just 3 weeks before his death. My eyes scan key paragraph. To my daughter, Elizabeth Catherine Rhodes, I leave all shares and controlling interest in Rhodes Corporation, including my position as Chief Executive Officer and Chairman of the Board. This is his real will, I whisper. This is what he wanted. But that's not all. Beneath it, financial records detailed systematic embezzlement from company accounts all linked to Monica. Email printouts showed Grant threatening the company's legal counsel. Make it happen or your family's medical history becomes public knowledge. Most damning of all, a small digital recorder. I press play with unsteady fingers, hearing my father's voice crack through the static. Tampering with the brakes. Check. Monica told the driver something. The recording breaks, corrupted. My God, Sam says, his face pale in the dim light. Eliza, this isn't just about the will. This is murder, I finish, my voice hollow. They killed him for the company. The final item in the safe stops my heart. Photographs showing Monica meeting with a man in coveralls behind a service station. The timestamp. 2 days before my father's fatal accident. I know that place, Sam says, studying the image. It's the garage where your father's cars rest. My phone vibrates a text from Clara, Dad's executive assistant. Monica firing everyone loyal to your father. Board meeting called for tomorrow to dissolve the charitable foundation. I look up at Sam, resolve hardening within me. I need that audio file recovered. Every word. Sam nods grimly. I know someone who can help. But Eliza, if they find out what you've discovered. They already tried to erase my father, I say, gathering the evidence with careful hands. Now they're trying to erase his legacy. I won't let them. As we lock the storage unit, the facility manager approaches. Miss Rhodes? I thought it was you. Your stepmother was here yesterday, looking mighty interested in these units. Asked all kinds of questions about who had access. My blood chills. Did she get in? He shakes his head. Without the key? No way, but she seemed indetermined. Back in my car, I find a letter tucked under my windshield wiper. Legal letterhead, Monica's lawyers. Cease and desist all defamatory insinuations regarding Monica Rhodes or face immediate legal action. Sam takes the letter, his face grim. They're scared. They should be, I say, clutching the evidence against my chest. The truth about my father's death burns in my hands, each document a match waiting to ignite justice. When your family betrayers hold all the power, money, and influence, how do you fight back? I've found the first pieces of a puzzle, but will uncovering the truth put me in the same danger that claimed my father's life? My phone chirps with yet another news alert. Monica Rhodes continues husband's legacy. I switch it off and toss it onto the passenger seat. Through the windshield, rain streaks down in gray sheets, matching my mood. 3 television interviews this week alone, Monica wearing Dad's favorite sapphire tie pin, speaking about our vision for Rhodes Corp, as if she'd helped build it from the ground up. The wipers thump a steady rhythm as I pull into Sam's apartment complex. His text came at 5 a.m. Found something. Come now. Sam's eyes are bloodshot when he opens the door. His apartment a fortress of empty coffee cups and humming computer equipment. You look terrible, I tell him. Says the woman being sued for emotional distress by her own stepbrother. He gestures to a chair beside his desk. Grant filed yesterday. His lawyers want your financials by Friday. Let them look. I hang my wet coat on the back of the chair. I've got nothing to hide. Sam taps at his keyboard. Well, they've got plenty. I recovered these emails between Monica and West Valley Auto Service. The screen fills with messages, dates highlighted in yellow. She specifically requested maintenance on your father's car 3 days before the accident. My stomach tightens. Dad's vehicle was on a regular schedule. Monthly checks. This wasn't scheduled. Sam points to another email. She insisted on that specific day, even offered to pay extra to bump another client. The rain drums harder against the windows as I read through the exchanges. Find anything else? Someone searched your apartment yesterday. My head snaps up. What? I installed those security sensors like we discussed. Motion detection triggered at 2:17 p.m. Whoever it was knew what they were doing in and out in 12 minutes. A chill runs through me that has nothing to do with my damp clothes. Did you get footage? Just shadows, professional job. He hands me a thumb drive. All your evidence is backed up here. Keep it with you. Dad's former driver, Raymond, lives in a small apartment over a convenience store downtown. When I knock, the door opens just wide enough for his weathered face to peer through the chain. Miss Rhodes? Recognition softens his features. Should have called first. Place is a mess. I'm not here to judge your housekeeping, Ray. Inside, cardboard boxes line the walls. A half-packed suitcase sits open on the coffee table. Going somewhere? I ask. Arizona. My sister's place. He gestures vaguely. Nothing left for me here since. His voice trails off. Since Monica fired you after 23 years of service? Ray's shoulders sag as he sinks into a worn armchair. Your father was a good man. Fair. Treated me like family. I sit across from him, leaning forward. I need to know about the maintenance on Dad's car. His eyes dart to the window before meeting mine. What about it? Was it routine? A muscle twitches in his jaw. No, ma'am, Miss Monica insisted. Said Mr. Rhodes requested it specifically. His fingers drum against the armrest. But he never mentioned it to me, and I drove him every day. Did anything seem off about the car before the accident? Ray rubs his hand across his mouth. Night before, I could swear I heard someone in the garage, thought it was the wind. He looks directly at me now. Next morning, brake pedal felt different. Mentioned it to Mr. Rhodes. What did he say? Said he'd have it checked after his meeting. Ray's voice cracks. Never made it that far. The Pine Grove Auto Shop sits just off the highway, a cinder block building with faded red letters. Inside smells of motor oil and desperation. The mechanic Marcus, according to Sam's research, flinches when I say my name. He's younger than I expected, maybe 30, with grease-stained hands that won't stop moving. I'm not talking about Robert Rhodes, he says, wiping his palms on a rag. That case is closed. My father trusted people, Marcus. I placed Dad's photo on the workbench between us. That trust killed him. His eyes flicker to the photo, then away. Look, lady, I just do the work that comes in. I don't ask questions. Monica told you it was just to scare him, didn't she? Just enough to make him reconsider the will. Marcus drops the rag, color draining from his face. Who says I did anything? The bank record showing Grant paid you $20,000 in cash the day after the funeral. The silence stretches between us, broken only by the tick-tick-tick of a wall clock. She said he wouldn't get hurt. His voice comes out barely above a whisper, just a small adjustment to the brake system. Enough to give him a scare, make him pull over. Marcus runs a shaking hand through his hair. I never meant for anyone to die. But you disabled the safety system anyway. His shoulders slump in defeat. Yes. At the precinct, Detective Rivera studies the garage surveillance footage Sam recovered. On screen, Monica leans into Marcus's face, finger jabbing his chest. She's threatening him, Rivera says, pausing the video. Clear as day. There's more. I slide Grant's email across the desk. From the company tech team. Rivera reads aloud. Make sure the 14th goes smoothly. The sooner he's out, the sooner it's ours. He raises an eyebrow. Sent 2 days before your father's accident. Check the timestamp. 3 minutes after Monica left a board meeting where Dad announced he was finalizing his succession plan. Rivera adds the email to his growing file. We've confirmed the cash payments to Marcus came from your stepbrother's personal account. 5 withdrawals, $4,000 each. In the audio file? He pushes a button on his computer. Dad's voice fills the room, clear and strong. Monica has tampered with my will. Check the brakes. Monica told the driver something was wrong with the car already. My throat tightens as his words fade into silence. Rain has stopped by the time I reach the cemetery. Late afternoon sun breaks through clouds, casting long shadows across Dad's headstone. I place fresh flowers beside his name, brushing away fallen leaves. They thought they erased you, I whisper, tracing the engraved letters. They thought they erased me. The marble feels cool under my fingertips. They were wrong. My phone vibrates. Detective Rivera's number. Miss Rhodes. His voice carries a note of satisfaction I haven't heard before. We're reopening the case. I need you at the station tomorrow morning to make a formal statement. I look at Dad's headstone one last time before turning toward the car. I'll be there. A breeze stirs the flowers I've placed, scattering petals across the grave. Something has shifted inside me, around me. I am no longer just Robert Rhodes's grieving daughter. I am his reckoning. I switch off the television, my fingers white-knuckled around the remote. Monica's face disappears from the screen, but her words echo in my empty apartment. We're concerned about Elizabeth's mental state following her father's tragic passing, she told the reporters, her pearl necklace gleaming under the lights. Grief can manifest in disturbing ways, including paranoid accusations against family members who only want to help her heal. The press conference played exactly as I predicted. Monica, the concerned stepmother, me, the unstable daughter consumed by grief and jealousy. Grant stood behind her, his face a mask of practiced concern, nodding at all the right moments. My phone buzzes. Sam. Saw the press conference, he says when I answer. She's getting desperate. Desperate people are dangerous. I move to the window, scanning the street below for the black sedan I've spotted 3 times this week. Did you make the copies? Distributed to 5 separate people, just like we discussed, even if they find one set. They won't find them all, I finish. The weight in my chest eases slightly. The doorbell rings. My pulse spikes. I'll call you back, I whisper, ending the call. Through the peephole, a courier shifts impatiently, envelope in hand. When I open the door, he barely makes eye contact before thrusting the delivery at me. Inside the envelope, a temporary restraining order. Monica's attorney has convinced a judge that my erratic behavior and unfounded accusations constitute harassment. I'm barred from coming within 200 feet of Rhodes Corp. Property, my father's life's work, now forbidden territory. My phone rings again. Detective Ramirez. Miss Rhodes, he says, his voice low and steady. Got something. The mechanics working with us found inconsistencies in the original crash report. The brake line wasn't just damaged, it was precisely cut to fail gradually rather than immediately. My throat tightens. You're saying it wouldn't have failed right away. It was designed to get your father far enough from the service center that nobody would make the connection. I sink into the nearest chair. Do you have enough to bring Monica in? Getting there. His voice drops further. Someone offered me money yesterday. A lot of money. Monica? Through an intermediary. I recorded it. The doorbell rings again. This time, my neighbor Carol stands there, concern etched across her face. There's some men in suits downstairs asking about you, she says, glancing over her shoulder. They don't look like the friendly type. I thank her, lock the door, and slide the chain across. My hands shake less than they would have a week ago. The burner phone, Sam insisted I carry rings from my desk drawer. Eliza, it's Mark. My father's assistant, speaking barely above a whisper. You need to know 4 board members reached out to me separately today. They're questioning Monica's leadership. The Richardson merger she pushed through, it's falling apart. The financials don't add up. Hope flutters in my chest like a captive bird. Are they willing to go on record? Not yet, but they're asking questions they weren't asking before. After we hang up, I retrieve my laptop from beneath the loose floorboard in my bedroom closet. Sam's encryption software hums to life. A new email from James Calloway, my father's attorney, marked urgent. Miss Rhodes, it begins. I can no longer maintain my silence regarding the will. The signature. I had doubts at the time, but Monica insisted your father had been drinking. Now, comparing it to earlier documents, I'm certain it was forged. I should have spoken up sooner. I'm prepared to testify. The wall around me weakens. One more brick falls. My secure messaging app pings. Sam again. His words sending electricity through my veins. Found deleted security footage. Rhodes' home office. Night before accident. Monica was there. 2 a.m. at your father's desk. I press my fist against my mouth to hold back a sob. Then my regular phone rings. Detective Ramirez again. Miss Rhodes, he says. We have enough. Be at the station tomorrow morning at 9. We're bringing them both in. I stand at my window, watching darkness settle over the city. The same darkness that swallowed my father. The darkness Monica and Grant thought would swallow me. Tomorrow, I whisper to my reflection. Everything changes. The rusty Kimi's seemingly worthless inheritance catches the last light of day from its place beside my laptop. Not worthless after all. The key that unlocked everything. In my pocket, the small voice recorder holds every threat, every lie, every moment of their undoing. Monica built her house of cards on quicksand. Tomorrow, the ground shifts. My phone rings at 6:17 a.m. Monica's name flashes on the screen. I let it ring twice more, steeling myself before answering. Eliza, please. Her voice quavers, a tremolo I've never heard before. Emily, we can work this out privately. I watched dawn break through my kitchen window, the same sunrise Dad would have seen from his office on mornings when he arrived early. Family doesn't murder family, Monica. Think about what your father would want, she whispers. All this public spectacle, dragging his name through. I hang up. 4 more calls come before I leave for the courthouse. Grant's lawyer offering $7 million to put this misunderstanding behind us. Monica's attorney suggesting that pursuing charges will only damage your father's legacy. Then Richard. Harmon, Dad's golf partner for 20 years, with Monica's plea to reconsider. I slip my father's class ring onto my thumb too large, but its weight grounds me and drive downtown. The prosecutor meets me outside courtroom C, her burgundy suit sharp against the worn marble walls. They'll try to paint you as vengeful, she warns, passing me a bottle of water. Remember, short answers, let the evidence speak. I nod, watching Monica and Grant enter through the opposite door. Monica wears navy blue somber, respectful, the grieving widow still. Grant's tie matches her outfit perfectly. Always coordinated, these two. Always performing. My hands don't shake anymore when I see them. Progress. The judge enters, a woman in her 60s with silver-streaked dark hair and reading glasses that magnify her alert eyes. Court is called to session, and suddenly it's my turn to speak. I approach the stand, place my hand on the Bible, and make my promise to tell the truth. The wooden chair creaks as I sit. From here, I can see the whole tableau: Monica and Grant at the defense table, Sam and Detective Reeves in the gallery, the jury of strangers who will decide if justice exists. Miss Rhodes, the prosecutor begins, please tell the court about your father. I meet Monica's eyes for just a moment. She looks confident still. My father built Rhodes Corporation from his garage. He employed over 2,000 people by the time he died. He donated 30% of his annual income to education foundations. I take a breath. He was killed because my stepmother and stepbrother wanted control of his company. The defense attorney leaps up. Objection. Sustained, the judge says. The witness will stick to facts, not conclusions. I nod. My father called me 6 days before his death. He believed someone had accessed his personal files. 3 days before he died, he left a key in his attorney's keeping specifically for me. I describe finding the storage unit, the real will, the evidence. My voice stays level. The jury leans forward as a unit when I mention the mechanic's testimony. And what did your investigation reveal about your father's vehicle? The prosecutor asks. The brake lines were manually compromised. My stomach turns at the memory of the forensics photos. The failure was deliberate, not an accident. The prosecutor nods, pulling out a thin folder. Your Honor, I'd like to enter into evidence Exhibit 29, the forensic analysis of Robert Rhodes' vehicle. She walks the report to the judge, then plays the audio recording we recovered from the garage's security system. Monica's voice fills the courtroom. Make it look natural. A failure, not sabotage. I need this problem gone. Monica's face drains of color. Grant stares at his hands. The prosecutor methodically builds the case: the forged will compared to the original draft, financial records showing money transfers from Monica's account to the mechanics the day after Dad's funeral, emails between Grant and Monica discussing acceleration of the succession plan. When the defense attorney cross-examines me, he hammers on my convenient discovery of evidence, suggesting I planted it out of jealousy. You were estranged from your father, weren't you? He demands. No, we had lunch every month. He called me weekly. Yet he left you only a key in his will, the alleged forged will. An odd choice for a beloved daughter. I look him straight in the eyes. My father knew someone might try to erase me. The key ensured they couldn't. By afternoon, Monica's composure cracks. When the judge denies their motion to dismiss, she whispers frantically to her attorney, her manicured nails digging into his sleeve. Grant begins distancing himself, his testimony throwing subtle blame toward Monica. I only followed her lead, he repeats, eyes darting toward the exit as if planning an escape. The prosecutor's closing argument is devastating. This was not impulsive. This was calculated. Robert Rhodes was murdered by the two people he most trusted, who then attempted to steal his life's work and disinherit his only child. When the verdict comes, the courtroom falls silent. Guilty on all counts: murder, conspiracy, fraud, embezzlement. The judge's commentary cuts like a scalpel. The cold-blooded nature of this crime shows a depravity that demands the maximum sentence. You killed a husband and father for personal gain, then weaponized his company against his daughter. Justice demands accountability. Monica sobs now, genuine tears at last. Grant turns ashen as deputies approach with handcuffs. I stand when it's done, smoothing my skirt. Outside the courtroom, reporters cluster like gulls, shouting questions. The board chairman of Rhodes Corp approaches through the chaos, extending his hand. The board has called an emergency meeting, he says. We vote tomorrow to reinstate you as CEO. I nod, watching as Monica is led down the corridor toward processing. Our eyes meet for just a second. I see the moment she realizes her mistake. She thought my father's death would be her freedom. She never understood I am my father's daughter in every way that matters. She pauses, deputies at her elbows. I step closer. He trusted you, I say quietly, and so did I. Her chin trembles once before the mask returns. The deputies guide her forward. From her personal belongings cart, I spot my father's company badge. The clerk nods permission as I pick it up, cool and heavy in my palm. I slip it into my pocket, right next to the key that started everything. I stand at the floor-to-ceiling windows of what was once my father's office, now mine. The afternoon sun casts long shadows across the Rhodes Corp headquarters, a skyline my father built from nothing. The leather chair behind the desk still holds a phantom impression of him. Miss Rhodes? My father's no, my executive assistant knocks softly. The board members are assembled. Thank you, Diane. I straighten my blazer, fingers automatically finding the pearl earrings that were my mother's. The boardroom falls silent as I enter. These men and women who once looked through me now rise in respect. The gavel feels right in my hand as I call the meeting to order. Today we implement the Rhodes Transparency Initiative, I announce, sliding folders across the polished mahogany. Every charitable donation, every financial decision, every corporate partnership will have complete oversight. What happened under Monica's brief tenure will never happen again. Heads nod. Some look uncomfortable good. Comfort breeds complacency, and complacency killed my father. Additionally, I continue, Rhodes Corp will establish the Catherine Rhodes Foundation for Women in Business with an initial endowment of $10 million. I don't mention that this was in Dad's real will, the one Monica tried to destroy. Some truths belong just to me. The storage unit smells of dust and old paper. Sam helps me box the last of Dad's hidden files, his hands careful with each folder. Over these months, his technical expertise evolved into something I never expected. Friendship. Maybe more, though neither of us rushed to define it. Last box, he says, closing the cardboard flaps. Wait. Something catches my eye behind an empty shelf of photo album I missed before. The leather cover cracks as I open it. There's Dad, young and grinning, holding infant me on his shoulders. Mom beside him, laughing at something off camera. My throat tightens. Trust your instincts, Lizzie, I whisper, echoing his words. Those instincts guide me now in boardrooms, in decisions about the company's future. I've kept his vision but implemented my own. Yesterday, I shut down an acquisition that would have been profitable but ethically questionable. The old board would have pushed it through. The new Wanami board voted unanimously to table it. Ready? Sam asks, gentle with my silence. I nod, tucking the album under my arm. Ready. The ceremony is small but meaningful. Detective Rivera accepts his long-overdue promotion with quiet dignity. Without his determination to reopen the case when everyone warned him against crossing Monica, justice might never have come. Rhodes Corp is pleased to announce Sam Wilson as our new Director of Information Security. I say into the microphone, catching his surprised smile. We discussed the position, but he didn't know I'd announce it today. Diane receives a standing ovation when I welcome her back to her position as executive assistant to the CEO. The tears in her eyes match my own. My father valued loyalty above all else, I tell the small gathering. Each of you exemplified that when it mattered most. Later, in my office, I watch the evening news report with the sound muted. Monica's face appears sure prison sentence of life without parole confirmed on appeal. Grant's 8-year sentence seems light by comparison, but his permanent ban from any involvement with Rhodes Corp offers some consolation. The mechanic received reduced time for his cooperation. Sometimes justice requires compromise. The Ethics in Business Award trophy glints in the display case, the first annual Robert Rhodes Memorial Recognition. Beside it, press coverage of our new corporate transparency standards. 3 other companies have already adopted our framework. A reporter asked yesterday if this was all about revenge. This was never about revenge, I told her, my father's words in my mouth. It was about truth. As sunset paints the city gold, I hold Dad's paperweight, a simple sphere of glass with a single air bubble suspended inside. Perfectly imperfect, he used to call it. The rusty key hangs framed on the wall, mounted on blue velvet with a small silver plaque. I thought I had nothing. Turns out I had everything. The company's spires cast long shadows as day fades to evening. In the window glass, I see my reflection, the vulnerability I once fought to hide, now balanced with a strength I never knew I possessed. We did it, Dad, I whisper, watching the last light catch the key. We did it.